2024 has been quite a unique year. It's been full of ups and downs, and there have been moments of excitement, disappointment, and pretty much everything in between, and I'm sure you probably felt the same way as well. However, it has been a year of growth for me, and I wanted to share with you 5 powerful lessons that have completely changed how I see my life right now, and honestly, I wish I had implemented them a lot sooner. If you've ever felt stuck or unsure about where you are in your life right now, I think these lessons might resonate with you as well. If you're new to the channel, my name is Abdul, and I have been unemployed after graduating from university in 2022, and as you can imagine, it's been a journey filled with so much anxiety and frustration, but I'm also very grateful since it is a time I believe that has shaped me quite a lot, and it has given me a chance to reflect on my own life, explore new things, and make crucial mindset shifts. And surprisingly, being unemployed has turned out to be one of the most transformative periods of my life. So with that being said, let's move on to what I learned this year. The first lesson I want to share with you is that patience is key. I'm sure you may have heard of the saying that good things take time. Well, it's true. This year I was reminded that some things just can't be rushed, and it's an important lesson that whatever is meant for me will come to me at the right time. I will need to run after it, and no matter how impossible it might seem. And the opposite is also true. Last year I enrolled in a paid course through a company called IT Career Switch to kickstart my career in tech, and they guaranteed a job placement, or it was 100% of my money back. I started it feeling quite hopeful, but unfortunately after completing the course earlier this year, things didn't really work out as I'd expect them to, and it kind of hurt that they couldn't get me a job despite all of the connections and support that they had, especially when I'd see LinkedIn posts about how other trainees landed jobs through the same course that I did. Looking back though, at that moment, a job in tech wasn't meant for me, and that's completely fine. I did get my money back though, which I used to buy a new phone, so it wasn't a total loss. Now I'm enrolled in a new training program which I am hopeful about, and I do intend to keep you all updated with the outcome of that should I get a job in tech afterwards. The most important thing I've learned is to keep going and to make the most of the resources I have, and to trust that the right path will open up in due time. It can get demotivating and tough, I've been through that so many times, but the last thing I want to do is give up after everything I've done. Patience doesn't necessarily mean waiting for things to happen. It's about persevering and trusting the process as well as trusting yourself. Lesson number 2 I learned is to not compare myself to others, and I was a big culprit of this when I was younger. I have seen a lot of people who are younger than me or just a bit older who seem to have their lives completely figured out. It looks as if they're living their best life and that they are content with everything that they have. But how do I know that's true? We live in a time where people do pretty much anything for clout, even if it means lying about their own life, and nothing really seems that authentic anymore, and I do have to say that social media is a massive culprit of this. However, for those people who genuinely worked hard for their achievements, all credit to them because they absolutely deserve it. But what does that mean for me? Rather than getting jealous or annoyed looking at their progress, I reminded myself that it's better if I just stay focused on what I need to do and my own life. And there's this saying that really resonated with me. It goes like, don't compare your chapter 1 with someone else's chapter 10. Everyone has their own circumstances, and not everyone is unemployed like me. But that also puts me in quite a unique position where I can leverage my unfair advantages. And I wouldn't have thought of all of this if all I was doing is looking at how trashy my life is and the fact that I have barely money at all to spend on whatever I want. And I feel that simple mindset shift has really helped me to stay focused on my own progress instead of getting caught up in comparing myself with others. The next lesson I took more seriously this year is that consistency beats perfection. by a long mile. By nature, I'm a perfectionist. It's something I am so inclined to worry about every time I do get down to do something. And while it does have its place, it is also very time consuming, and at moments it is quite unnecessary. Instead of aiming to jump straight from 0 to 100%, I learned that focusing on consistent effort is what truly makes a massive difference. And this applied heavily to my own fitness journey, which I have been pursuing for more than 8 years now. And because of that, I saw more positive results this year than I ever have in the previous years. I realized that consistency allowed me to learn new things, and the next time around, I implemented those changes. I was far from perfect when it came to both my training and my nutrition, but by applying the 80-20 rule, I believe that the consistency compounded over time, giving me the results that I have now. Not to mention the habits I built along the way. Perfection doesn't exist, but what matters is being good enough to see progress while staying open to any improvements, and that is where consistency excels. The fourth lesson I want to share with you is this: don't wait, just make a start. I have noticed throughout the course of my life that I tend to wait for everything to align perfectly before I take any action at all, and this is due to a lot of overthinking. I found it uncomfortable otherwise to make a step, and it would just be an excuse to avoid doing the work when it needed to be done, and this goes right back to my school days. But I realized that if I really want to make a progress in my life, I need to start, even if it feels messy or uncertain. Basically, I have to learn to get comfortable being uncomfortable. This mindset has really helped me when it came to my YouTube channel, which I started back in 2023, but this year I decided to take it a lot more seriously, and honestly, I'm so happy with the progress I have made and the things I have learned along the way, and none of this would have even happened if I hadn't stepped out of my comfort zone and decided to just start. I believe that once you take the first step, even if it's a small one, new opportunities will open up, and you don't need to have it all figured out. Most people don't. Just take the first step and trust the process. The final lesson I have implemented this year, probably the most important one, is that family comes first. Always. I owe everything to my family, and I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for their kindness. I was reminded of this constantly while being unemployed because they supported me financially and they gave me everything I needed, and I am very grateful to have them in my life. This year I decided that I would like to spend a bit more time with them, and I understand that I have my own life to live and goals to achieve, but the quality time that I get to spend with them will not last forever. Earlier this year, I realized that I wasn't showing my appreciation as much as I should have. I found myself secluding and distancing, which wasn't really fair on them. While personal space is important, I knew I could do more to show my gratitude, so over the past few months, I made it a priority to spend more quality time with them and be there for whenever they needed me. My family has been with me through so much, and they remain the highest priority in my life. They understand me, they support me with everything I need support on, and they always have my best interest in mind. And honestly, finding people like that is very rare. And when they're by my side, I feel like I can do pretty much anything. At the end of the day, the time with our loved ones is limited, and I've learned to cherish every moment with them. So I do whatever I can to spend as much time with them before I regret it in my later years. With these 5 lessons that I have learned this year, I have seen changes that I am truly thankful for. Of course, there's always a lot more room for improvement, but these lessons have had the biggest impact on me so far. As we go into the new year, I would like to seek more ways to learn new lessons and to further myself and to achieve new goals. And I hope that some of the lessons I shared today resonate with you. Let me know in the comments one lesson that you've learned this year that's changed your life. I mean, I would love to hear your thoughts, so leave them down below. I hope you all have a great start to the new year and are ready for many exciting things that are waiting to happen. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.